Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety splicket. Go watch a
Hello,
movie.
everyone, and welcome to Go Watch a Movie, episode 186. I just said it, and I forgot it. I said it. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Robert.
Thank you for joining us today. Today, we are doing Pig. That's it. That's the title.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. But before we get into that, a little bit of entertainment news. First and foremost, good sir, new Exorcist is coming. I don't know. I think that's one of the ones you should leave alone.
Yep, they should touch. They're not. Are they adding to the series, or are they like a reboot, remake? What are they? What is it?
Let's see here. Universal Pictures and Blumhouse Productions have announced an October 13th, 2023 release date for the first of their upcoming trilogy based on the Exorcist film franchise. I guess it's based on then. So the release date, yeah. So could just be spin-off series, maybe.
Well, didn't they just do a spin-off series, like a series that kind of continued it on?
I think like the exorcism of people.
Yeah, because they just did that, so I don't know.
That's one. I think they should just leave it alone because that first one is just terrifyingly hardcore. Oh, yeah, it's yeah. But Die Hard. If you were out there wishing for more Die Hard, wanting it to come back, the prequel is dead.
Just make people sad.
Sorry for you. The producer, whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce, told Polygon, no, it's not happening. But what was really interesting was we actually came up with an idea to do it. It was a project that wasn't Die Hard that then eventually shifted over to Die Hard. What was interesting about our idea was it allowed you the ability to meet young John McClane and use Bruce. But that's not happening. So.
Do we really? I mean, has anything ever surpassed the original, the first one?
No.
For anybody? I mean, not for me. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Part one was with Alan Rickman, and yeah, it's just fantastic. I did love the one with Samuel L. Jackson, but it has nothing on the first one. But I mean, come on, like they wanted to use the original Bruce, which is why it probably died. That's all I'm saying. They probably watched his last couple movies and like, yeah, we can't do this. we need more out of him than this.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, Takai Waititi's. There we go. I think I got it. Takai Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows, Thor Ragnarok, upcoming Thor Love and Thunder, has something else. A Star Wars movie yet to be named. Star Wars movie has another movie on his docket. Originally was supposed to be a animated feature, but I guess the script is so good that now it's becoming a live action movie. And this one, I think, is far enough between and has been spoofed enough to where it's fine. A new Flash Gordon movie.
Okay.
He says he's loved it since he was a kid. He's like, you can even see shades of it in Thor Ragnarok. He's just a massive fan of the franchise, and they hired him on to write the cartoon, but he started writing it, and it's like, okay, well, I think this would work as a live action movie. And they are all on board because so far he hasn't really missed as far as his films go. They've all been massive successes. So what do you think? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't want to see like redid stuff all the time and I want to see new stuff, I'm on board with this one just because, I mean, it's time. It's been a while. And that old one, yeah, I mean, I've seen it on lists of like some of the worst movies ever, but I don't really agree because I still find it entertaining. I remember watching it when I was younger too, so I'm
1930s, something like that. Jeez, I'm definitely down with this one. I mean, and he clearly still lives in our culture up until the latest of like Ted. Like he was a big,
Mhm.
everyone talks about Flash Gordon still. Big fan of Flash. So look forward to that. That should be fun. But that's entertainment news today. Those stories and more can be found on gowatchamovie.com. That'll bring us to trailers. You first to me, sir.
Go right ahead.
Mine is a little self-serving because I'm in it. So this is Cop Shop. Gerard Butler and Frank Grillo in Cop Shop. This one starts off with a guy in a business suit walking out to a car. The car explodes, flips over. He crawls out, and he's like tapping himself out on fire. Cuts to him running to cops, like, please arrest me. Somebody arrest me, because he realizes there's a massive hit out on him. Apparently, he's a very important man, and it's kind of what was that movie where they send all the crazy people out to capture this one guy in a hotel, and there's a bunch of different oddball assassins.
Okay, yeah. I remember that movie.
Yeah, it kind of has that feel to it. Except Gerard Butler's one of the assassins, and there's this. He does get arrested. They take the guy to jail. Gerard Butler gets himself arrested to get in there to assassinate him, but gets stopped by this new badass cop chick, and then he gets handcuffed to a cell, and then suddenly the fucking police precinct gets assaulted by all these crazy assassins, and one of them is a trip. This old man comes in. He's like, I found this guy. He took a tumble. And then when the cops are checking out him, it's like, well, actually, before he took that tumble, I shot him in the head. Then he took the tumble. And then he proceeds to mow down the cops and finds them. And yeah, the hilarities ensue. More and more, I'm assuming, crazier assassins start coming after him, and he has to escape. But yeah, I'm a dead guy in this one movie, so look out for it. Cop Shop.
All right. Well, mine, actually, I have to talk about an actress before I can talk about the trailer.
Oh,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Okay.
She's been around, she's been making movies for over 20 years now. And I just realized how many films she's been in. Some I like, some I don't, but still, she's been in so many movies. And the more I watch her, the more I enjoy watching her. And I used to always think, Sigourney Weaver, like whenever you want a badass action chick, Sigourney Weaver, it always pops in my head. Or maybe a little, Gina Davis, because it kind of reminds me of, Sigourney Weaver. But now I'm like, no, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That's who you need to be thinking about. Here's some of the movies she's been in. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She was in Swiss Army Man, Birds of Prey, Gemini Man, 10 Cloverfield Lane, that Thing remake in 2011, Death Proof, one of my favorite movies ever, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. She just keeps making movies, and it's like I forget about her, but then I see her again. I'm like, oh yeah, it's her. She's awesome. But yeah, the trailer is Kate. It's going to be on Netflix. I think the producers from Atomic Blonde, it says in the trailer, were involved. So you're going to get some crazy action scenes, and that's pretty much all you get in the trailer. Is she's going to assassinate somebody. I guess she's an assassin. She goes to assassinate somebody. She finds out she misses because she was poisoned before, and she has maybe 14, 15 hours to live. And this is about her trying to find out who did it, and either to get revenge or try to get a cure. It's not really clear in the trailer, but still, you just get to watch so many great action scenes. She looks believable as an action star. Some people just can't pull it off. It doesn't look right, but she pulls it off, and it looks perfect. So I can't wait to see this one. I can't wait to go on this action-packed ride. And it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead, as I already said about 3 trillion times, because she always impresses me.
I'm curious too, because she does impress me as well. Like, why hasn't she reached that pedestal? Because you like you said, you think of Sigourney Weaver, you think of all these other strong women. Why do you think she hasn't got that A-list status. Man, maybe she is to some, but
I'm not sure. She just never, pops in my head first. But I'm thinking she's about to. She's in there now. I'm not letting her out of there. And hopefully this movie bumps her up. She starts getting more roles like this because
we're talking about his metaphorical head. He's not locking the woman up.
Yeah, but just think about it though. How many movies have you seen with her in it that you enjoyed? And she always does a good job too.
You scrolled me down memory lane with that list. Like you're right. She's
and that was just some of the notable ones. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. She's even been in a Die Hard movie. We just talked about Die Hard, so yep, good stuff.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I saw this one. It's a very, very cool trailer. I like the part where she's like in between the alleyway and waiting to jump on their faces. But, like a cat. But yeah, those trailers and more are actually both up on gowatchthemovie.com, so you can check those out on there. That'll bring us to Pig. So, watch if you would not mind.
Living alone in the Oregon wilderness, a truffle hunter returns to Portland to find the person who stole his beloved pig. It stars Nicolas Cage.
Thank you, WatchBot. We have a man among us who has been everything we've ever wanted. He's, almost everything. Some things he didn't quite make it to being. But he's been quite a bit of stuff, and he has entertained us for years, longer than some of us think. And some people don't think he's entertaining. Some people just watch him to laugh. But
that's entertaining.
It is. He was almost Superman. He's taken people's faces off. He's escaped from Alcatraz. He's stolen 50 cars in 50 days. He's done it all. And now he's a man who wants his pig back. I'm talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Nicolas Cage. Like how, this one, I gotta tell you, I did not see coming.
Nope.
It's so, is it sullen? Like it's so quiet and reserved. You just
exactly.
Yeah. You don't expect Cage.
Yeah, because like you just said, Nicolas Cage. We all know him, and even people who love him for a particular reason. And you were probably going in this film without. I think I'm going to ruin the film for everybody right now. So spoilers. You go into the movie knowing it's Nicolas Cage, so you're going to expect a certain sort of behavior. You're going to expect over the top, acting and carnage and murder, and he even has a knife in his hand at one point. You're thinking, oh, here it comes, but it doesn't. You get something different, and so it was a breath of fresh air. It was refreshing. Yet at the same time, I think it was perfectly cast because we were all probably expecting one sort of movie from Nicolas Cage, but we got a different one. We
got what we needed.
Yeah,
and I love the direction it took. It just like you hear the premise. Like imagine you're exec. Hey man, so I got this script. Man gets his truffle pig stolen. What do you think? Give me my money. Huh? You're gonna get laughed out of that room. But thank God someone had the wherewithal to read on in that script.
Yep.
And keep going, because what we got was pretty. I mean, as you can hear, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, and I enjoyed Cage's performance in it a lot. Like, I don't know where he's been keeping his. Well, he's done this before, but this I felt it seemed amplified to me, and I don't know why. What are your initial thoughts, sir?
Initial thoughts? I didn't know what I was getting into. Like in the very opening of the movie, you're like, this is going to be a quiet something that turns into a hell ride, and there's going to be murder and death. Can't wait for it. But no, like I said, it takes you by surprise. I hate to say that now without if people haven't watched it yet, because it might ruin the surprise for them. But yeah, that's what you get. You get surprised. You don't see I mean, everything is passive. It's like, and then you start to understand why he's doing what he's doing or living where he's living, and then you start to understand who he was and then who he is now and why the pig was so important to him and how losing the pig actually helps him in another way. So it's just you just get rewarded all the way through this movie.
Yeah. I want to say I guess I basically you covered what I want to say, because it, like, you expect at some point, like, I thought when they first came to take his pig, we were going to get just like this insane, oh my god, and now he's about to cage rage on him. You want my pig? We've seen him do many times, put his hair back and carve him, But no, like, he fucking takes one on that, which was my only qualm, but I'm assuming they hit him with a bat. I think you know where I'm going. But yeah, I just, man, you want to talk about impressive acting from a man who is, maybe he's been fooling us all. Maybe his over the topness is purposeful,
Maybe he just has a wider range than we realize.
Yeah,
it's not always over the top. Maybe he's got this quieter, not saying one of the last movies we reviewed or talked about, he didn't talk at all. So
yeah, and that was actually fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's his strong point. Like, don't talk and we're all going to love you. But it seems to be working for you.
Hey, Cage, shut the fuck up so we can enjoy you. All right?
We just need your face. That's it.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. I love the story. The story of this movie I thought was great. I at first didn't like Amir. But I think you were supposed to not like him.
Yeah, of course. You're supposed to have mixed feelings about him, and then you learn about him more, and then your feelings, maybe they change, maybe they don't. Mine did. Plus, it's Alex.
Mine did too.
From Hereditary, so of course I'm happy.
Oh fuck yeah! I did not even realize that.
I was waiting for him to smash his head against the table, but he did.
He's the one who not killed his sister, but basically was the cause of her death, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
I thought he did a great job because he played that asshole that you wanted to see fucking Nicolas Cage kill at some point. So
one of the reasons why I did like his character is because he was such an asshole in the beginning. He was that uppity, asshole. But then you find out why he's that way. He kind of opens up to him a little bit later, and then you kind of see, well, that was just an act. The whole asshole thing. Sometimes when you meet an asshole, maybe they're not really an asshole. Maybe that's just an act. They've got some family issues at home or whatever. And then you find out. Just finding that out, just unraveling the onion of the character, is enjoyable.
And more times than not, that is the case. Those bullies, those assholes are compensating for something. They're trying to find a release for that frustration. And he found what he thought was an easy target. And you're a dirty old 50-year-old man. Hey, how about a shower? Everything probably that he was told, you're worthless. You're never going to make it. You'll never be me. He's just regurgitating back at this old man.
And then you realize who he really is.
Yeah. And don't ever judge a book by its cover, because you never know. And he was so big on, hey man, you're going to ruin my reputation. This is my reputation online here, et cetera, over and over again. Then come to find out, your reputation don't mean shit.
Yep. Not compared to his.
You're just a guy who sells truffles. But truffle, have you really looked into truffles? I watch a lot of cooking shows.
Yeah, I watch a lot of
truffles.
Yes, I'm familiar with truffles.
Fucking expensive.
Yes.
Like, some of these things go for $500 just for that one. If you've seen this movie, for that one fucking nugget, and that's probably low end because they're hard to find. Like, you need these pigs and apparently Laredo guys to buy. But yeah, I've had truffle, and I think it's overpriced.
Yeah, I think it's the rarity. I think it's the rarity that drives it up. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I don't know if my palate is as complex as some people's. They
Exactly.
pick up something that I'm unable to detect. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm just an uncultured swine. See what I did there?
Oh, I see what you did. I see what you did.
But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, hey, teacher, I'm not gonna turn down. Like
no, if someone throws some truffle at me, I'd be like, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But so this movie revolves around, well, not necessarily, but it's seemingly at first you're like, oh fuck, that they want this pig who finds these expensive ass things. But once again, that's just another layer of this movie. I like where it went the most, I think, because I do watch a lot of cooking shows. So the idea, I guess we're gonna go into super spoiler territory now. The idea that you think it was my interpretation. He just, because of that table where they're having dinner or they go to interrogate the chef, he just realized what he told that chef. None of these people give a fuck about you.
Mm-hmm.
They just basically, and like, I guess basically they're just here for your name and they don't really know who you are. Like, yeah.
Yep. I know you're going to ask me what my favorite moment in the movie was, and that was it, when he's sitting in that fancy restaurant and he just gives that guy that look, and the chef is so nervous. He's got this that nervous laugh. He's just like talking out of his butt, and and Nicolas Cage Rob is just staring at him, just giving them that that Nick Cage look of like, you're so full of shit. That's my favorite moment in the movie.
And how he reduced him to nothing by like revealing his poor little past. Like, I fired you for overcooking the pasta all the time, Yep. It's like you and then basically joked about what his signature meal was gonna be. Like, it would have never worked, like it's like so like he did, yeah. So this complete breakdown of this man who's like, I'm in the fucking most fancy restaurant of them all. They're all here for me, and they want this. Like, no, they're not. But yeah, and I don't know if that's my whacked out depression brain thinking about that. Like how that's how I feel like that's none of this crap means stuff, and I think they showed that.
You're absolutely right, though. It doesn't.
And they showed that in such a artistic, wonderful way in this story about a man looking for his pig. Mm-hmm.
It sounds comical. It sounds comical when you say it, but it's. I mean, the pig was just a gimmick.
Yes. And
it was another gimmick to disengage you from what was really going on until you like actually can then absorb what's happening and realize how beautiful the whole situation is.
Mm-hmm. One part I need help with.
Okay.
Chef fights. Okay. So restaurant workers gather in a underground, this is spoiler territory once again, an underground old abandoned hotel portion that wasn't, I guess, cleared out, and take turns beating other chefs up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they can't, just to see who can last longer.
I think it was. Here's my interpretation of that, and I'm probably dead wrong because I'm stupid. But anyway, so I didn't think the people that were betting or whatever to beat somebody up. I don't think all those were chefs. I think some of them were
other restaurant
the other restaurant workers, like the whatevers, and then like there's that head chef, and then in some restaurants I've heard that head chefs are extremely controlling and
Gordon
mean.
Ramsay.
Yeah, they're mean to people, and they just they just yell at them and spit on them and tell them they're worthless and crap. And yet at the same time, when you have somebody that's that like just filled with anger, maybe there's something else going on in the background. Maybe they're not really like a sadist type. Maybe they're more a masochist type. So they go to these things, and then the people who are getting dumped on get a chance to
get all their frustrations out.
Yeah, get a little revenge on the person or people that are mad at. And for some reason, those people, those chefs, are into that because they're not really as mean as they appear. Maybe they're actually just insecure, or just want their brand
They
to
want
be
to be taken
perfect.
down a peg.
They want their brand to be perfect. But in the real world, when it's not concerning their food, they're just the regular guys who don't mind getting beat up because they're right there with you.
That is perfect. That is perfect.
Maybe that's what it was.
No, that's perfect. Like they because you're right. Those were lower in, and I'm not saying lower in insultingly. I'm just saying those were the servers, the sous chefs,
just not the head chef. Yeah,
yeah, and they. Yeah, like you said, the chefs, we've seen Gordon Ramsay call someone an idiot sandwich.
So they were like, your name, like the guy who ran the thing was like, your name doesn't mean anything now. You don't have a name. But when he wrote his name up there, it was like, that's the dude. That's the guy. Like, that's the one I want to,
if I can fucking crack his fucking jaw.
I'm going to be able to go to work the next day and feel okay being shit on, so that, I don't know. Maybe, so it makes sense to me anyway.
But yeah, it does now for me as well. I was lost. I was like, why in the fuck why would this masterful chef go down here and get the shit kicked out of him? And I guess, but why time it? Like they made it seem like the longer they last, the more money. He lasted 10 seconds. It's like, well, what do we consider last?
Right. Yeah, it worked for me. I don't know. I enjoyed that part of it because it just added another layer to like who these people were.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment was when he served the father the meal. Because it broke him down, and he made him go back to that place of, especially with the added knowledge of we know that he put his mom, and he basically have his wife on life support, and he knew where to hit him.
Super impressive, because he was like, I mean, you're already learning more about Rob as a character in the movie. You're like, okay, he's this famous chef. He's not just this dirty bum who lives out in the woods and hunts truffles. He's like this super famous guy. But not only that, he remembers every person he ever serves and every meal he ever cooked for him. So it just becomes it just keeps adding on to the legend of this character. And you just realize he's not this dirty old guy in the woods, but he is, but he's not. He chooses to be this, simplified version of himself because it's just too much to be in the other world. And I completely get that. And also he's out there because of the loss of a loved one, which we haven't really touched on, but which is why the pig is significant for him moving on.
Yeah.
But still, he remembered exactly, because of the son story, exactly what he needed to cook to remind him of that, that one good day. So he can get into that man's mind.
What are we going to do with all this stuff? I'm going to get my pig back.
Not what you're expecting. You're expecting fights. You're expecting him to kick down a door and stab somebody in the throat and say, "Give me my pig."
Where the fuck's my pig?
Well, we don't get that. We get, you know what? I'm going to do something nice for somebody. I'm going to cook him some food. And then he's going to give me my pig back.
Every time we just talk about it, it sounds so humorous. But at the same time, I know what I just watched, and I know it's not. It's so much more than that. But yeah.
Even forgave the son for lying, and said, I never told my dad about it. But he's like, well, I'll see you next Thursday. And the son's like, okay.
Yeah. He's like, oh, shit.
Is he going to kill me next Thursday? What's going to happen?
So do you think dad now loves the son more? Like
that's never going to change.
Gotcha.
That's another part. I think that's beautiful about the movie. I think that dad, even though he had a moment, he's going to revert right back into his world. Whereas, Nicolas Cage's character is moving forward finally. He's been trapped in a way, but now he's finally getting to move forward and let go.
And he can find the truffles without his pig.
Yeah, I like that when he's like, I can find those without. I don't need the pig. I just love the pig. I love the pig. That's why. Well, yeah.
Yep. Good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
Beautiful.
What's a Rotten Tomatoes?
Beautiful. I can't say that enough. I know it seems weird that we're talking about this movie called Pig with Nicolas Cage, and then we're talking about how beautiful it is.
Those two things, the movie called Pig and Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
You're like, oh, these guys are going to tear this fucking movie apart.
No, we love it. I can't get enough of it. Another thing I loved about it that I didn't mention before I get into the Rotten Tomatoes score is that he's got all this blood and bruises all over his face. He doesn't want to wipe it off or get cleaned up. He doesn't care. He doesn't get cleaned up until he goes back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like that was
done.
Yeah, that was so telling to me. It was just beautiful. So tomato meter, guess what? 97%.
Oh,
certified fresh. That's good stuff right there. And to combine that, audience score 84%. Also very
How many
high.
people?
250 plus.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then the tomato meter is 162 at the present moment.
So it's not a fluke.
No, it's not a fluke. This is a great movie. It's and again, I think it's because it surprises you. I think most people going to see this, where you got Nicolas Cage right there, and you got the name Pig. So you're thinking this is going to be a riot, and it is, and it isn't. It's different. It's a different kind of thing. Absolutely great movie. Good stuff.
Highly recommend. Go watch from me.
Yep, I agree. Go watch this. If you don't like it, I think your soul is tired. Part of it.
You don't like it, go roll around in some pig shit.
You ain't getting no truffles if you don't like this movie.
Yeah.
If you like it, you'll find a truffle tomorrow when you walk in the woods.
But yeah, that's Pig, episode 186. What else? What is? There's probably a lot more to say, but
Yes.
But yeah, I recommend watching it. Highly recommend watching it. And not our average movie. We normally go horror or action or comic style, but sometimes you need a break from that stuff to get the real goodness. Well, I shouldn't say not our actual. I can speak for Robert. We watch these kind of movies all the time. We just don't do it for the show because it's not like here's Spider-Man swinging through the woods.
Right. I watch more stuff like that. I watch a lot of independent stuff, so I watch smaller movies. That's my main thing.
Yeah. The good stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, episode 186. Where you can find us. You can find us at gowatchamovie.com, the one-stop shop for all things entertainment. The stories are there. The trailers are there. The podcast is there. But if you don't want to go there for some odd reason, you can also find the podcast anywhere. That's right. Anywhere a podcast can be played, we are there. And give us a listen, a like, and a subscribe, a follow. We're also on the socials and whatnot. I post stuff regularly on there, upcoming movies, trailers, that sort of thing. That's it. That's Pig. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie.
Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety split it. Go watch a movie.